everyone. How is everyone doing today? I should perhaps first say we have this puzzle here by Dyer. It is the most voted on puzzle by supporters. So the voters for this puzzle are David, Plonketime, Jay, Russ, David, and Luda. Should be this is a very Zeta bait puzzle. It has Renbon, black dots, and modifier cells, so about as baity as it is possible for a puzzle to be. I should also probably mention that I just published a new puzzle over on LMD. Let me get you a link to it. Let's see that. There we go. This is the one I just posted. I think Isabella was the first person to solve this when it was posted on LMD, if I recall correctly. But anyway, so if you want to solve this puzzle, I suppose I should give you probably the LMD link. You could have it there. This is like a 2-star Renbon numbered rooms puzzle. So, although there's one comment that says emphatically that it's a 3-star puzzle, it probably, I would have listed it as a 3-star puzzle like 2 years ago pretty easily, but now sort of feels in the 2-star range. Tristan will solve it on Thursday, I am told. Okay, but for now, let's have a look here. And it has sort of inspired me to like try and maybe set more like of these, I call them 2-variant showcase puzzles, where I combine 2 variants and make a puzzle out of it. I should probably set more of those. I've been working on my like intro to Sudoku packet, so I've set a bunch of puzzles for that recently. So that's where this one came from, but there'll be more, fear not. Okay, so here, what do we have? We have, ooh, my glasses are very dirty. Normal Sudoku rules apply. Cells connected by a black dot have values in 1-to-2 ratio. And then we have Renbon, so the values along these form a string of consecutive digits in any order. However, we have this idea that there's clone cells which all have the same value independent of the value they contain. So there's some digit like 7, for example, where every clone cell has a value of 7. And every row, column, and box has 1, I assume. Yes, 1 row, column, and box. There we go. And now I can't see anything, but and they all have that value. So we have to figure out what that value is. Okay, so the things that rely on numbers from 1 to 9 are still true, because we don't have any, like, there's not like a doubler Renbon where we can have like a double 5 as a 10 or anything like that. But we can do weird stuff. So like my original inclination upon thinking of this is like look for a cell that repeats, where the digit in it repeats on the Renbon somewhere. But I don't see any place where that immediately has to happen. We could also like try like counting 4s, 5s, and 6s on some of these longer lines. Will that do it? Yes, I think that will actually do it, because I think if I look at these are all length 6 Renbon. So they all therefore need to have a 4, a 5, and a 6 on them. How many 4s, 5s, and 6s can we possibly fit in these cells? And the answer is, well, not that many. Because you could, of course, fit only 2 4s, 5s, and 6s in the first 2 columns. And then you could fit 1 more in each of these cells. So the clone digit is definitely a 4, 5, or 6. Let's see if I pull this down and draw a, like, let's see, where can you actually see this? 4, 5, or 6. We know that. Okay. So we have that. And so in particular, that tells me I do need a clone cell. So now let's unhighlight these. So that clone cell has to show up somewhere in here, at the very least. Okay. These two cells, therefore, have to have values of 4, 5, 6, right? So that doesn't mean that they're... Wait, does that mean these can't be clone cells, right? If one of these is a clone cell... Wait, is it okay if one of these is a clone cell? Okay, so in here... Yeah, all the clones are one value. So yeah, so we've got presumably 2 4s, 2 5s, and 2 6s in these cells. Yeah, okay, yeah. So whichever is not the clone, there we go. That's the way to say it. Whichever of 4, 5, and 6 is not the clone, whichever two of them, those have to go here because the clone can't fix it. There we go. And so these are not clone cells. Oops, I don't know why they're slashed white, but anyway, these are not clone cells and they are 4, 5, 6. Okay. There we go. Yeah, I agree with that. Okay, and these are different 4, 5, 6s, of course. And of course, I don't know that there's a clone cell. Oh, I know these aren't clone cells, right? Because if one of these was a clone cell, that would break the world. No, that's not even true, right? Sorry, that's not true. Because I only need one cloned copy in here, right? I need one, whatever the clone digit is. Sorry, I think that was wrong. I think the whichever the 4, 5, 6 is that is the value, I can have two real ones and one clone one in here. So I just know there's one clone cell in all of these, which is not helpful. Doesn't one have to be? I don't think so, but I don't know. Let's see. So these cells see 2, 4, 5, 6s. It is true that values can't repeat on Renbon. But remember, it could be that the actual digit is up here, or it could be that the clone cell that goes on the digit itself is in here, or whatever. I think there's actually lots of options. Unfortunately, Todd, I don't think that's true because it could be that 5 is the cloned digit. If 5 is the cloned digit, then I could still arrange to get a like fake 5 on here. I mean, the betting would be just it's a Renbon puzzle and there's a digit that's special. It's probably 5, but who knows? Let's see. I know this cell isn't cloned, but this could still have a clone on it. Oh, right, all right. Sorry, no, right, or right. Emma is correct. Right. That's very clever. Right. These 456s are the 456s that can't be cloned. Yes. So if this cell is a 5, then 5 is not the clone digit, and therefore you really can't put a 5 on here. Okay, I agree with that. Uh, uh, and so this Renbon is extreme, I guess, is one consequence of that, because it's there's a 4 or 6 that genuinely isn't on it. Uh, uh, so these are either both high or both low. If they're both high, they're a 6-8 pair, which doesn't work. I don't think, because then that seems to put a 4 in one of these cells. Uh, unless there's some weird thing with 4 being the clone digit. Which I feel like 4 could be the clone digit in that instance, right? No, no, no. So if these are both, oh Lord. Uh, so yeah, so if this digit is a 4, 4 isn't the clone digit. These are both high, but one of them could be the clone digit if the clone digit is a 6. One of them would have to be an 8, though. And then the 8 would have to go with a 4, but we've just said 4 is the clone digit. So this can't be a 4, is what I have concluded. If this is a 4, 4 isn't the clone digit. However, one of these cells has a value of 8 and is just an 8. And therefore, one of these is a 4, but that doesn't work. So this can't be a 4. This is a 6. And we can bring out Zach for the 6 stance. Boop, boop, ba-doop. Whoop, 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 whoop. Boop, boop, ba-doop. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Thank you, Zach. Thank you. So at the very least, this isn't a 6. 6 is not the cloned digit, so this is just a bunch of black dots that don't have 6 on them. So that means their values come from 1, 2, 4, 8. But unfortunately, that doesn't let me pencil mark anything, right? Well, I guess the point is these two cells see these two cells see the entire length 5 Renbon. So if I like pencil mark what these can be, well, they're certainly not 6, but they're not 1, 2, or 3 either. Because this Renbon definitely has an actual 1, an actual 2, and an actual 3 on it, and these cells see them. You're still not putting 5, 7, or 9 into these cells. So these cells are actually a 4, 8 pair just as values, period, which means that 4 needs to be the cloned digit, because otherwise you could not put a 4 on this line. Emma says that's wrong. Is it really wrong? Oh, could be a 7 cloned to a 4. Right, right, right. Yeah, you're right. Okay, so really they're not 1, 2, 3. Really they're not 6. But right, one of these could be the 5, 7, 9 logic was wrong, because you could clone a 5, 7, or 9 to a 4. But one of these cells has a value of 4, is the point, because the only values these cells can have are 4, 8. And so the cloned digit is, in fact, definitely a 4. So that is correct. So this is not a 4, it's a 5, because this is the digit that's not cloned. So there we go. So one of these is a 4. And so whichever of these is next to a value of 4 has to be a 2, because you're not putting an 8 on a Renbon without a 6. And whichever is next to the 8 has a value of 4. But I don't really have a great way of marking that. It can be a real 8 with a clone, or a real 8 with a real 4, and then a clone thing. There we go. That's next to that. Yeah, I do still need one of these to be an 8. They can't be a 4-4 pair in any weird way. But yeah, the clone in the box, that's a good way to put it. There's 2 values of 4 on the there's 2 values of 4 on these, because one of these is an 8-4 and one of them's a 4-2. So therefore we have this. See, AFK says, how did 2 clones on the same Renbon not... There aren't 2 clones on the same Renbon. There are never 2 clones on the same Renbon. Yeah, gray is not clone. Yes, we're only marking not clone so far. We don't know where any clones are. Yeah. Yeah, this is a universal Zeta language for not interesting. The grayish bluish color. Okay, so regardless of whether the clone is here or here, neither of these is a clone, right? Because if the clone is over here, then these aren't clone cells, and if the clone is over here, these aren't clone cells, right? I think that's true. It feels very minor, but we'll accept it. Hey, Carabet, how are you doing? Let's see. Do we know anything about where the 4 is along this line? No, I don't think so. We do know that these are all just from 1, 2, 3, 5, right? Because the 4 is up here, and these are all not clone cells. And that one's not even a 2. One of these, in fact, has to be a 2, actually, right? Because, oh, no, sorry. There's already a 2 on the Renbon, so right. So these aren't 2 either. So these are, in fact, actually a 1, 3, 5 triple. So that's interesting, because it means that these are not 1, 3, or 5. So these are 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now, it's going to be really hard to get a 2 on here, by which I mean you're not ever getting a 2 on here, because if you try and smoosh a 2 onto this Renbon, then you're going to have a problem. Also, if you try and put a 4 on this Renbon, you're going to have a problem. So actually, this is from 6, 7, 8, 9 only, right? None of these can be cloned, because we don't want to throw a 4 on here, and the 2 is placed here, right? Now, I don't think we know whether this 2 is a clone or not, but we know it's a 2. Okay, so one of these is a clone, so none of these are clones. Oh, sorry to hear about that, Carabet. Oh, can't read the 4 with the. Let's see. The 4 can perhaps move slightly. There is a link, but I can write the 4 here. I was trying to keep updated the status of what we know at the moment. Let's see. Okay, so yeah, we know there's a clone cell. Right. We know there's a clone cell in here, so we actually can mark that none of these are clone cells as well. While we're marking things. Let's see. AFK says this Renbon needs a 6. I'm confused about this point. I know that none of these are 6. I'm not sure I'm as convinced about the other claims. Let's see. Okay, we definitely have a 7 and an 8 in here for what it's worth. Which is kind of interesting. Oh, box 5 does need a 4. That's true. So there's a 4 looking up here. And that 4 actually makes these an actual 4-8 pair. So those are not forward. So this cell actually has been forward. These are all not forward. These are all not forward. We again don't need this. So this is a 2 and a digit that has been forward. Okay, so either this is a 5 or these are 1, 3. So this is always 1, 3, 5 because if I consider that this is a 4, sorry, it's not 1, 3, 5, darn it. It's it's no 1. It's just 3 or 5, right? So what are the numbers I can get to from 4? Well, if I go down, I can do 2 or 3, but I can't have a 2 with a 2. So it's 3, 4, 5, 6. Except this can't be the 6, I guess, even because of that 6. I was going to say it couldn't be a 6 because then I couldn't get a 5. But anyway, that gives me a 1, 3, 5 triple. And so the whole reason why that's exciting is that now these are known. They're 7, 9 pair. Oh, right. We need a 5 because there's no 2, DWeb points out. Right. I agree. Because we cannot do 2, 3, 4. And so we have to go at least above by 1. So that has to be the 5, actually. So actually, that gets me a 5 up here, which tells me that this Renbon is extreme now. There's a 5 down here somewhere. Okay, so then this is always either, because we're either doing 3, 4, 5 or 4, 5, 6. So this is always a 3 or a 6. Oh, no, sorry. I know there's a 7 in one of these 3 cells, but I don't know which one. But by sudoku on 7s, because there's definitely a 7 and an 8 in here. So I kind of suspect the 7 goes in there, but who knows? All right. Let's see. Yeah. I sort of had my spidey senses were tingling about this, but Eckbert has it. This being 9 doesn't work because if this is a 9, I need a 7 in one of these two cells, and I can't have it. So this is always a 7, and that's a 9. This is certainly not a clone cell, is another good point from chat. Owing to the fact that I'm not putting something with a value of 4 on a length 3 renbon with this. And so, in fact, these can go up to 8 or down as far as 5. Except I see that neither of them can be 5 for reasons. So, in fact, these are just a genuine 6-8 pair. Which means these cells down here see the 6, 7, and 8. So these are only from those values, or sorry, only from those digits, I should say. Ditto these. 6, 7, 8, and 9. And these seem not to be able to be 5 or 9. So these are only from 1, 2, 3, 4 now, actually. That one's not a 4 for sure. It's not a 2 either, if you look at the corner marks up there. Let's see. Yeah, 9 can just get away with being on here, I think. I do know there's a 5 in here, as well as a 6 or a 9, I guess, is the combination that I know. Oh, yeah, there's a 2 and a 4 are down here just by Sudoku, points out Emma. Can I do anything with clone cells in here? So there's a number, and in this case it's 4, and every clone cell will be a 4. Right, okay, so AFK's point here goes back to the break-in, which is that we know there's 2 6s in here. There's a 6 on this renbon and a 6 on this renbon. And that forms a Zach wing, which says that none of these cells can be 6, and that cell can't be a 6. So therefore, one of these two is 6, is AFK's point, and therefore there's a 6 up here, but no 5. And if there's a 6 up here, but no 5, that makes this be 6, 7, 8, 9. Because a value of 4 is not going to help that situation. Yeah, I finally put together what AFK was saying. Yeah, that was what AFK saw before, which is oh, could still be 1, 2, 3, 6. Oh, right. Sorry, it could still be 1, 2, 3, 6. Right. There's a 6 up here, but it doesn't do anything because the 6 itself could be 4. Oh, okay. So the point DWeb wants me to understand is that the 4 in here is the au naturel for clone. So the 4 in this box is cloned as 4 because there's both a clone in these 3 cells and a 4 in these 2 cells, or in these cells. Yeah, the commonality is that this is extreme. We just don't know which extreme. how long is this renbon? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, it's an 8 long renbon. Good to know. DWeb really wants me to count 4s in these 2 columns, of which we know there are 3 values of 4 between these. Yeah, so I guess I can I can disentangle this, but I will admit I hate it. But there's 4 4s in these 2 columns if I count by value, because the only way it wouldn't be 4 is if it was a Ford 4, but we don't have a Ford 4 in here. And therefore one of these 2 cells has a value of 4 and is therefore either itself a 4 or is itself a other thing. So the point is that gives me a virtual 4-4 pair in row 1 is what DWeb is pointing out. And so the 6 over here therefore is not it's not a doubled. So this really is a 6, 7, 8, 9 over here with our virtual 4-4 pair. Okay, so because yeah, one of these has a value of 4. Who knows what it is? Okay, so down here, we've certainly got our like 1, 2, 3, 4 sort of business. Okay. Nicholas alleges it can't be the real 4, but I don't think that's true. I think it might or might not be. Oh, let's see. Luna says this can't be a 7 or it breaks the renbon in box 3. Oh, right. Because if this cell's a 7, it makes that an 8. And now both 7 and 8 have to go in this cell. Got it. Very nice. So yeah, so that's not the 7. Let's see. Emma wants me to like full center mark this cell, which I suppose I will do. It's not 5 or 6. It's not 4 or 8 because we've got a pair. It's not 7 because of what we just argued. It's also not 9 because 9 would go next to a 8. So this is 1, 2, or 3. Which I don't think quite does anything, but it's close to doing anything. That would be true if it couldn't be a Eckbert, if it couldn't be a duplicated cell, but this could be the Ford cell. So it can be a 1 or a 3 for sure if it's the Ford 1, 2, 3. Or sorry, if it's the Ford 1 or 3. It's definitely not the Ford 2, though, for lots of reasons, because this is the Ford 2 would be 1 proof, and the other is then we wouldn't have a 2. So the Ford 2 is done. whenever whenever someone says something and I immediately respond with no, that's not quite right, it means that I argued it in my head and almost said it out loud and caught myself just beforehand. So the like wanting to say, oh, so this is a 2 was very strong in my brain. Uh yeah, we certainly know there's a 5 down here. Could easily be a 5 with a fake 4. Uh hmm. Unknown. Let's see. Got a 6, 8 over here. Where does J want us to look? If I were J, what would I be looking at? Like, it feels like this has to be the next step just because we looked at this and we got this deduction. We haven't done anything with it. We've also got a lot of 5s in the grid, so we can ask where the Ford 5 is. Because the Ford 5 is somewhat limited. Because certainly, like, we're definitely not 4ing a 5 or a 6 in these columns, for example. So the Ford 5 and the Ford 6 need to be elsewhere. So, yeah, so here the digit we're 4ing is 7, 8, or 9 or something like that, or 1, annoyingly. Does Zach drive a Ford 5? Zach is saving up for a vehicle. 1, 3, 7, 9 are the possibilities in this box. But yeah, I wonder if that's what we're supposed to be thinking about, is more globally contemplating where some of these weird Ford numbers are. Because that's possibly what the pressure here is doing. Okay, I do certainly know. Like, is there some place where it's like, oh, you obviously can't place a 6 there because screeching noises or something like that? Like, let's see. Is it that making this 2-4 just breaks this line? No, it doesn't quite, does it? It almost does, but it doesn't quite. Because we definitely need a 2 or a 4 on this. It's so close because if this is 2-4, you now need the clone over here to be your even digit for this line. So like I feel like that's maybe the angle that we're supposed to be looking at. Somehow is like some complicated statement of like there's definitely a 2 or a 4 value on here. And there's definitely a 2 or, well, there's definitely a 4 value on here. let's see. Eckbert says this can't be 6. Yeah, that just works. Yeah, if this is 6, then that's 6. And now this Renbon has no 6. That is very true. Very true. Okay, yeah. So, is there a nicer way to say that? Because I feel like the if there's a nicer way to say it, we should say it that way because it might also tell us something about another digit. But I agree that if this is 6, then we somehow run into a problem with putting 6 on this line at all. This is the way to say it. Zeta did say to look at the 6-8. Yeah, somehow like this cell almost assuredly sees the 6 from here. Or maybe it's I mean, I agree it breaks. I'm just looking to see if there's some way that I can frame this as if I take the union of these two, it's covered by this sort of argument because it's probably more useful than that. But I do agree. And I mean, I don't think I'm not looking for it like I usually do because I don't like the step. I'm looking for it because I think it might be even more useful. But yeah, if this is a 6, that's a 6. And now this Renbon has no 6 is the problem. So this is an 8 and that's a 6. Is a thing that we can say. So now if there's a 9 on this Renbon at all, then that's an 8. Right. And so now, D-Web points out, now the 6 is on this Renbon. So this is now 6, 7, 8. Which now means the 9 in this column is, in fact, up here. So one of these two is 9 now. Let's see. These are something, something, and something. 1, 2, 3. These are 4, 5, and 9 is what these are. Let's see. So this is just an 8. This cell's just an 8. Just by sudoku, and has been for... I guess has been for about half a second, because it has been since we placed that 8. But anyway, we'll take it. That is an 8. So yeah, so these are just all from 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see. There's an 8 over here somewhere. That doesn't seem useful. Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, 8 on this Renbon now. It needs to have 1, Luna points out. And it needs to have 1 because it's an 8-long Renbon. And so it's up here now, which is going to finally disentangle box 2 because those aren't 8. So now one of these two is 8. And ergo, that is a 4, and that's an 8. And 4 goes with a 2. That is not a thingy, and this goes with a thingy. That is a fake 4. Okay. So yeah, so now one of these two is whatchamacallit. Yeah, one of these two is now it is the 1 or the 3 that is now being forward in this box. I'm not sure which, but it is the 1 or the 3. Those are the only things we haven't forward yet. Okay. So yeah, so this has a 2 or a 4 on it. It really felt like that was going to be really useful, but then somehow it didn't quite come out that way. Uh, I guess what I should use is I should use the classic Zeta trick of that these aren't 1, 2, 3, or 4, right? Because these see all of 1, 2, 3, and 4. Uh, so these are from 5, 6, 7 only. Because these see this whole quadruple. Uh, and there's no like shenanigans going on because this is the one normal for. I don't know if it's helpful, but I think it's true that these are from 5, 6, 7. So if there were to be a 9 on this whole thing, it would have to be in this column, which would blow open all of this. Yeah, I agree. These are from 139 only because this digit ends up here. Eight is in one of these. Oh, sorry. 8 is in one of these cells specifically, actually. Let's mark that. So this Renbon definitely needs a 7 somewhere. That's what I was trying to deduce AFK, but when I looked at it, it looked like it could. But that was my intuition, so it's possible I missed an implication somewhere. But that's exactly what I was trying to do when I said words kind of like that out loud. Let's see. I was looking for things like, can I say something using Sudoku on 2s or something, using the fact that the 2 definitely isn't cloned in this box, but I can't quite get there. And I do know that if this goes up to 8, then there aren't very many options for what other digits can go on it. Oh, that's true. That's true. Uh, Wait, is that true? I'm not sure that there's only one 8 because I think this line could also have an 8. I think we can get 2 8s on those lines, can't we? Uh, uh, OBS reports that I'm not dropping frames to me. Your mileage may vary about what that actually means. Oh, right. These two can only have one 9 between them. Because there's only one more 8. And so therefore there's 2 9s in these, or sorry, there's a 9 in these cells. Oh, unless the 9 that they have is a 9 that has been forward. If it's a 9 that has been forward, then all bets are off, I suppose. Uh My eyes keep getting drawn to this thing. But I don't know what to do with it. I suppose I could actually mark these. That would probably be a good idea. These are from 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Not 9, sorry. So from 1, 3, and 7. We know it's a 1 or a 3 that lives in yellow here. Oh! Wait, no, not quite. We know there's a 1 or a 3 in yellow here, and so that digit definitely doesn't go here or here. So the 1 or the 3 that's in yellow here is in one of these two cells, and so therefore the 1 or the 3 that's in yellow here is that 1 or 3. But I don't see any great conclusion out of any of this nonsense. But that sounds like a J. Dyer trick to me. Like, it seems like the kind of thing that one should be tracking. This is from around the era, I think, where J. Dyer endeavored to find all logic and modifier cells and set like 50 modifier cell puzzles that included lots of very advanced modifier logic. So it's probably something like that, but not quite that. See, we could try labeling like what digit is. So we know here's where we've got a 2. Here we know it's a 1 or a 3 that has been doohickied. Do we know anything else about... oh, yeah, here we know it's a 4. I should mark in this box we know it's a 4. So here it could be 1, 3, and then 6, 7, 8, or 9. Oh, not 6, at the very least. And not 8, because we've got an 8 corner marked over there. So it's only 1, 3, 7, or 9, but that doesn't feel that useful. Where's the forward 8? That seems like a reasonable question to ask. It looks like it could be in here. Or perhaps down here. Are those the only options for where the forward 8 could go? That might be the only options for where the forward 8 could go. Oh, yeah, right. David was looking at 5s and 6s. Where are the 5s and 6s forward? So not in these columns for sure. Not in these columns. So definitely the forward 5. Yeah, not in here, of course. The forward 5 is definitely over here. Do I know there can't be a forward 6 in this column? That's the only question that I'm not sure about. If we can get that, then we'll have David's point. should I mark where 5s are on these renbans? Because I actually know the 5 on this renban is in this box, just by examination. And therefore, I guess I know the 5 in this renban is in this box. That's maybe not the most useful deduction that I've ever made. But we can pretend. And it's definitely true that the 5 that has been forward is over here somewhere. We don't know that the forward 6 isn't in column 3 AFK. I agree we're definitely not putting 7 there. If we were to put a 7 here, we'd have to put a 7 here. I don't know if that's a problem. 1 second, I'll be right back. Okay, I have returned. What were we doing? What are these purple lines again? Let's see. So yeah, if this is a 7, then this is a 7. And now these only get to be, they both have to be from 1 to 6. And that's a problem because one of them has an 8 on it, right? Yeah, so there's an 8 in one of these cells by sudoku. Oh, unless this is the forward 8. Could this be the forward 8? Yeah, the forward 8 might break that argument. Never mind. I keep asking myself, like, am I allowed to put a 9 down here? But then I keep being like, I don't know. Uh, okay, now we're thinking about 8s and 9s in conjunction in these two columns, is what is being proposed. Uh, so you're trying to argue we can't put a 7 or a 9 up here or something? Uh, uh, just 7, but you have to think about 9s in some capacity. Uh, yeah, let's write in the 1379. Uh, uh, okay. How about this? I know there's two 2s in these cells, and those 2s aren't Ford. So there's 2 genuine 2s. So that means I need 2 genuine 3s in these cells. So I don't think this can be 3 at least. Do we believe that? Uh, I think I believe that. Uh, just to chip away slowly at the world. Uh, okay, so we're one step closer. Uh, oh, in fact, actually, that just places this digit as a 3, right? Because it's not just that I can't for the 3 in these cells, I just can't put a 3 in these cells, right? By the argument that I just argued. And so I have to put a 3 in row 1 somewhere, so it's here, right? Okay, which then means that these are a 1-7 pair and this is a 9. None of these are 3, and this is. Okay, so now this Renbon has a 1 on it, so it definitely doesn't have a 9 on it. For whatever limited amount that might be worth. Does have a 3 that's over here somewhere. Oh, this is the world where this is a 1 is really weird because the world where this is a 1 makes these be a 1-3 pair, which makes these be 4-5 exactly. Eights don't do the same thing to the 7 because we don't know where the 8 is Ford, but we knew where the 2 was Ford. But that one point, that feels like the point to concentrate on, is what's happening if I really make this a 1. Box 8. Oh, yeah, we can definitely kill these. Hey, Jay. I did say that if this was a 7, that's forced to be a 7. I said that. Uh, but then I wasn't sure that that broke and we were chasing things very far. The J diary point seems to be to chase this what happens with the doubler math if these are a 1, 3, but I'm not quite sure. We can also get rid of these 7 corner marks. That's true. Three in box 3 is the clone. Oh, yes. That's the easy point. Yes, that's the intended point. Right. I know it's a 1 or a 3 here that's cloned. However, if I make it the 1 that's cloned here, I make a second 1 clone. Thank you, Emma. That's what I was trying to find. Yeah, so this is a cloned 3 for sure. Thank you. I was like, just based on what I think J Dyer would do. That's what I think J Dyer would do. Okay, so there's a 3 in here. So there's a 3 down here somewhere. This has got to be 1, 2, or 4, 5. Which doesn't feel immediately useful, but what are you going to do? It's a little sad that the 2 points we had back to back both had the effect of removing 3 as the doubler from this thing. Ah, yes. Okay. So Eckbert now can extend this argument to say you can't clone 7 here, because if you clone 7 here, then it ends up here as well. I agree with that. So can we remove 3 a third way? I mean, by the like basic comedy things, it seems like we should be able to. Okay, so this is a 1 or a 9 are the only things that are able to be thingied up here. It's probably worth mentioning we know for sure one of these is a 1 because there has to be a 1 in row 1. So one of them is a 1 regardless of whether it is forward or not. I'm just going to move that just so you can see the 1 corner marks because it seems like they might be relevant. Yeah, there's 2 natural 2s. So there's only 1 natural 9. I agree with that. And so if I know that there's only 1 natural 9, doesn't quite tell me about 4 9s. I do agree with Nicholas. This 7 9 goes up here, so these are actually only 1 7 9. If it is a 1 or a 7, it's that 1 or 7. Oh, that doesn't work. This can't be 7. It can't be 7. Oh, sorry. We already know that. Never mind. Sorry. I just argued. I just gave us a second proof of something else. Right. This digit's never a 7. Agree. Okay. Yeah, so if I do put a 7 up here, it goes with a 1. And it's the 1 that is forward in that instance. Uh, Okay, I am prepared to corner mark a 2 in these 3 cells because we're not putting a 2 over with this. And so there's, no matter how we slice it, there's 2 natural 2s on these, right? 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Yeah. There's, so yeah, no matter how you slice it, there are 2s on these. That does tell me there's not a 9 down here finally, right? There's 2 2s on these 2 Renbon. That's correct, right? I think that's correct. Oh, it could be the Ford 9, right? Okay, could be the Ford 9. Sorry. Right. Okay, so a 9, but only if it has been Ford. Uh, uh, both of these have a 3 on them because they have a 2 on them. Don't we just know one of these 2 digits is a 3? If I now ask myself the question, where does oh no, that one could be a 3, right? Oh, but these have to be 2, 3, 6, don't they? Because I'm not putting the 3 on this thing with an 8, right? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh crap, I could. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 is a valid Renbon. Uh uh Oh, right. There isn't a third 3, right? Nothing to do with distance, right? There's 2 3s in here, so there's no 3s in here, which actually makes these a 2, 3, 6 triple, right? Uh, because I can't put anything other than 2, or sorry, these are the only places I can put 2, 3, and 6. Do we believe that? Oh, and row 2 has a 3. Good. So, in fact, actually, this is just a 2, if I believe that. And now this is a 3, 6 pair, it seems to be. So this isn't a 3. Do we know what digit is forward in this column? I don't think we do. Not 6, right? We were trying for not 6. I don't remember why, but some time ago we really wanted to rule out the possibility that there was a 6 that was forward in here. So now the Ford, okay, yes. Now when we ask where is the Ford 6, it's now not in any of these boxes. So these boxes now are the Ford 5 and the Ford 6, right? I think that's the deduction that we were looking for before that we did not have. And so now that assuredly helped somehow, presumably. Uh, uh, okay, so where do we do 4 and 8? Well, 4 we already know where we do it. So now the 8 has to be in this box, right? This is the Ford 8 is in this box now. I eventually figured out what Emma meant. Uh, yeah, so here's the forward 8. Yeah, I figured it out after I said it out loud, Emma, what was happening. So yeah, so now we for the 8 here. So now here we're foring. Right, if we for the 8, that grays these. Because those aren't 8. And so now actually we can gray all of this within this box. Right. This cell is definitely not the forward 8 because there's a natural 4 on here. So this is not the 8. Agree. So yeah, so we've got something forward on here. Okay, so James's point is this Renbon, or this cell, sees all 5 of these cells from this Renbon, and we actually know that these cells are 3, 5, 6, 7, and 8, with this one not being 5 and 8. So therefore, this digit can only be from 1, 2, not 3, could be 4, not 5, 6, 7, 8, and it could be 9, except it can't be because there's a 9 over there. Okay, so now this cell is not forward because it's not a 5 or a 6, which makes this the forward 4, as we know. No 4 there, no 4 there. Okay, this cell, funnily enough, is a 3 because there's a virtual 5, 6, 7 triple in this box. So this is a 3. I see Nicholas also saw that. I do adore things like that. So there's a 3 down here in one of these 2 cells, for whatever that's worth. So yeah, so that was a great spot to James there that eventually paid off a lot of dividends. I'm being told this cell's also gray, but I don't see why yet. Right. These 9s now, these cells now. How did I ever even gray these? I don't know how I grade these cells, but I apparently, oh, right, because of this column. So these just can't be 9s, because if they were 9, they would be real. Can't do that. Oh, right. This sees the 5, 6, 7, 8 quadruple. And so, therefore, this is not 5 or 6. Right. Okay, thank you. And so, therefore, this is now the column 9 digit. So, it's a 5 or a 6. It has been forward. So, this isn't the 8 of this. So, now there's an 8 running across one of these 2 cells, which removes 8 from this cell and removes 8 from this cell, which places an 8 there. Places the 8 back in box 5 as well. 5, 6, 7, 9, indeed. So these digits are now, so we've got a 5, 6, 7, 9 quad. So these are from 1, 2, 4 only. 5 in box 3 is now here. Right. 5 in box 3 is here with a 4. So that makes that a 1, 3, which makes that a 7 and a 1. Me a 2 and a 9 going back that way. It gives me a 1 and a 4 down there. Okay, yeah, we've got the 3 up here. This is a naked something. It's a naked 7, it would seem like. So these are a 1, 9 pair. One of these two is a 5, but I don't know that I really care about that. Right. It's now the 9 because we've now cloned the 1, so we can't clone the 1 again. So we've now got to clone the 9. Good point from chat. These are 4, 8 just by math. So what is this? So this is a 3 or a 9, and we know it's a 9, right? Because we already argued that we need 2 3s down here, right? So that's the 1 and that's the 9, which is the 4. Means that isn't, which means that this is the 4, which was going to be an 8. Which makes this a 4 and an 8. So that not a 9. Yes. So the remaining digit to be cloned is a 7, and we can place it. There we go. Okay, and so now it's a 5 that we clone down here. So we can mark that's a 5. So this is a 6. And we can actually clear out. Actually, after I mark that, I can mark that that's a 6. So then there's a 5 down here. That is my cloned digit. Okay, so that is a 7 and a 5. Let's see. Yeah, we can write in the 7 over here for completeness sake. Okay, that's not a 5 anymore. This isn't a 5 anymore, apparently. Okay, this is a length 3 Renbon that seems to come from 1, 2, 3, 4 only. It's not a 2. Oh, these are a bi value of 5 and something else. And 2? I think these are 2, 5. So these aren't 2 or 5, which makes this a 3 and a 1, which makes this a 9. Makes that a 2 and a 1. Makes these something and something. A 4, which is placed even, and a something else. A 6. And now this is a 6, which makes that a 3 and a 6 and a 3, 7 and a 6. Okay, this is a bi value of something and something. One of them is a 1, which is going to rule 1 out of these cells. I'll go ahead and mark. And the other, in fact, actually, let's also mark while I've noted that this is a 1 or a 4. These are a 2, 3 pair for sure. So let's come back and make those a 1 and a 3. I was doing something. I was marking these, right? One of these is a 1, and it's that one. And the other is a 4, and it's that one, which makes that a 9. Let's see. These are a 2, a 5. Well, that one's not the 2 or the 5, so this is the other one. 7? Yep, so These are a 2-5 pair for the box, I believe, with that being the 5 and that being the 2. So that gives me the 4 and the 5, gives me the 1 over here. I now know that those two are the yellow cells. 2, 3, that's the 5 over there. So we get the 4 and the 5 over there. I think I can now delete all of that. See the 2 and the 5 over here. Could probably get rid of the 6, 8 corner marks up here. I can probably actually hit mark at this point. 9, 9, 8, 2, 7, 4, 6, 8, 6, and 7. Lovely, lovely puzzle there. Very big fan of that one. Everything was very nice. And we never did anything gross. We tried to do things that were gross, but we successfully avoided it. All right, I'm going to take a quick stretch, and I'll be back in just a moment. Welcome back, everyone. There was a request for some pencil puzzle action, so let's have a look at this. Although this I see is, how do I fix this? I might need Tristan to fix this. I don't know how to make this actually show up on the screen. There we go. That looks no, that doesn't quite look better. That's not helping. Does that help? There we go. Almost. There we go. Almost. I just need to like shunt this a little bit off the edge so you can't see. No, not that. So you can't see the one piece creeping in. There we go. Okay, good. I didn't have to do anything too cursed. If I have to change what the window capture is, then I need Tristan. But if I just need to move it slightly, I can do that. Okay, so here is a completely terrifying puzzle by KNT. Blacken some cells in the grid such that all blackened cells form pentominoes, orthogonally groups of, which are orthogonally connected groups of exactly 5 cells. Pentominoes may not touch, not even diagonally. No pentomino shape may be used more than once, including rotations and reflections. If a cell containing one or more arrows is unshaded, the arrows indicate the directions of the nearest pentomino cells. If there is no arrow in a specific direction, then the nearest pentomino cell is further away, or there may be no such cell in this direction at all. If a cell with an arrow on it is blackened, the cell gives no information. Okay, which is delightful as a rule set. So let us do our level best to try to see what we can do with this rule set. Okay, yes, let me put on row column mode. Sorry, I tried to make a Tallcat chaos deconstruction puzzle happen, but it turned out that was way too cursed to fit on the screen without heavy Tristan intervention, so we're probably going to have to wait on that one until it's most voted and Tristan sets it up its own scene, because it clashes with the make the puzzle look good on stream thing that we have. Yeah, most 60 shaded cells out of 169. I did say chaos deconstruction. Yeah, so if this cell is shaded, then if this one isn't, then we end up with like all of this shading. But that looks okay. But basically, this is either going to be a P or yeah, it's sort of like as soon as this cell is shaded, this also looks shaded. Yeah, one of these two at least is shaded, I guess, is something that we can say for sure. Because if this is unshaded, then that's shaded. But this could be shaded. Oh, it could have a U around it. You're right. Sorry, it could have a U around it. I still stand by one of these two is shaded. I don't know what to do with it, but I stand by it. I don't even have a great way to mark it. I don't know. I could like draw a little line through here to say one of these two is shaded. Likewise, one of these two is shaded for the same reason. Of course, one of these two is shaded because if this is unshaded, then it's a valid clue, which means that that's shaded. Now, of course, if this is unshaded, it means that that's shaded, which means that this is shaded. So there's like a similar sort of cascading problem that is going on here. Okay, so is there something going on with like this cell? Like if this cell's unshaded or something like that, I don't know. Yeah, if any one of these is shaded, they're all shaded. And so is this, therefore. Sorry. If this is shaded, we get an L, and it's wrong, right? This cell being shaded doesn't work. Because if this cell is shaded, then then we break, because if this cell's shaded, then we have to shade all of those. We have to shade this, and we now have to shade that, and that's now too many. So this cell, we have a deduction, is unshaded. And as soon as this cell is unshaded, we know it's true, so these are all unshaded. Which now means that for sure one of these two is shaded. Why do we then have to shade? Okay, you got it. Okay, yeah. This is unshaded. Shaded will be a bright color that will be interesting. This is my attempt at creating the world's least interesting color, so it can't be the thing that means shaded. That is my endeavor, at least. Okay, so one of these two is definitely shaded. If one of these two is definitely shaded. Now, the green looks a little too... I don't like the green that's included with Sudoku Maker for that is the problem. Or sorry, Sudoku Ped. One of these two is shaded, and if it's this one's also shaded. So this is always shaded. Yeah, we could do blacken or we could do yellow. I'm happy either way with those, but this is always shaded. Right, because no matter which of these two is shaded, this one is, right? Because I can't do a shaded here, unshaded here. That would break. So that being shaded means that's shaded. And since these things can't touch each other diagonally, that's also shaded. And this is unshaded. I should have done previously. Now this is shaded now. It is true. Black covers the arrows so we don't try to use them. I like that. Let's do that. Okay, so if we're going to do that, then I can do the green so that we're trying to like really cover these things up. Okay, now in order that this arrow be true, that needs to be shaded. Oh, link. Here is a link. And as soon as this is shaded, as Jay pointed out previously, that automatically makes these shaded because otherwise they're not true. This cell can't be shaded because if this is shaded, then it needs to be part of a pentomino, and it ends up being part of a thing that's not a pentomino. Likewise, if this is shaded, it ends up being part of a thing that's not a pentomino. Okay. Now, because this is pointing at the nearest shaded cell, we get to, in fact, actually green all of this. Which actually now blackens this cell, because now if this isn't black, it's lying. Which now actually finishes our F. Which gets us green in all of these. Or purple, if I accidentally hit the wrong button. Okay, this can't be unshaded, because if this is unshaded, then I shade both of these, and what am I even doing here with my life? So this is definitely shaded. Oh yeah, we should get an F dance. Boop boop doop doop. Boop 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 doop doop boop. Boop 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 boop. What up? What up? Doop doop. Thank you, Zach. Thank you. Sorry for not warning you. There might be pentomino-related dances. Right. So now this has to be shaded, or this arrow is a lie. True. So now this is unshaded because it would make something that's not a pentomino. If this is unshaded, the world breaks horribly, right? Wait. I just broke the puzzle, didn't I? Oh, no. Sorry. No. sorry, it must be unshaded actually. But the distance that we're pointing is further. This can't be shaded or we break the world is the problem. And so actually, that means that we now have to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in each direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And these are just shadeless. Like that. Do we agree that I counted correctly? I think I counted correctly in this particular instance. This can be a U or a P, I suppose. Throwing shade all over the grid. Indeed. Yes, excellent counting. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, we'll have to resolve this. I mean, it could theoretically be by this, but we'll probably resolve it by the rule that we can only use each pentomino once. Let's see. I keep looking at this and being like, what can I say from this? Nothing. It is shaded. Now, what are we doing? I was hoping that I would read the rules and it would turn out that all unshaded cells had to be connected or something, but it did not. I think if you're willing to go into settings and edit your color palette, I think you can make a true black if you want. That's true. Now, now if this is unshaded, oh, the link isn't pinned, right? I said the link and I didn't pin it. There we go. Let's see. Okay, which of these is now useful? Have I somehow missed something? Let's see. So if this is green, we create a W, right? We create a very broken W. This is like in the like right on the like razor edge. If this is green, it makes that also green. But now by virtue of this being true, it makes both of these black, which then makes these black, which now makes this green, and now it's broken because that's also black and we have things touching diagonally. So this is not unshaded, because if this is unshaded, we instantly create that problem. I mean, instantly. We create that problem through a chain of events, right? I don't think it's particularly hard to see because you get this. It requires filling in lots of cells, but sort of, at least for me, it wasn't that hard to see in my head that it was going to break this cell. So yeah, so this cell's also shaded for sure for diagonally issue reasons. Okay, so now if this is unshaded, I think the world just falls apart horribly, right? Because if this is unshaded, I can't make this an F. For lots of reasons. If this is unshaded, Well, it can't go that far. So if this is unshaded, it would have to be that cell, and that cell that it's referring to, right? Oh, sorry, no, and this cell. Never mind. Sorry, no, this just doesn't work, right? Uh, because the options are these three cells, which I can't shade, or these three cells, which I can't shade, or these three cells, which is a disaster. So this is shaded, which makes this a W or a Z. So certainly at least these and these and these are all green, as well as these two, because I need one of these two to be gray, and that's going to be the last one. Okay, these are now unshaded. I agree, because we've now not left them enough room. Okay, this one, we know we go at least this far in this direction before we hit something. No pentominoes in dominoes, the all-important deduction. One of these two is shaded, or similar stories to over here. Okay, well, one of these two shaded is actually relevant, because if one of these two is shaded, then by this, it tells me one of these two is shaded, because it's the same distance. And so now if this is unshaded, we actually create shadeds down here, which would make that shaded, which starts to look a lot like a lot of the shapes we already have, but I'm not quite convinced that thingy thing. Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah, there's a much easier point from Emma, which is that if this is unshaded, we now shade both of these, and we now create a disconnected pentomino, because 5 isn't big enough. Yeah, so this certainly, in fact, is shaded. Which takes out that. But now I know one of these two is shaded for sure. Doesn't quite get me what I want to get. If this is unshaded, we get the same pattern, J. Dyer points out, because if this is unshaded, we now end up being forced into shading both of those. Because we can't go far enough away in this direction, basically, is the problem. So this is shaded. I guess this could be like some sort of V. It can't actually be a V, I realize, because one of these two is shaded. So these are separate. These are, okay, so I can actually get a deduction out of this. These aren't the same pentomino, because if they were, then that would take 5 cells to connect them, and I couldn't shade either of these. So these are different pentominoes, which means that's green. And if that's green, that means both of these are green. The standard no pentomino and a monomino deduction says that. Okay, so now I certainly can't shade both of these, because if I shade both of these, I run into the problem that I just mentioned, that I force a V. But I certainly need to make sure I get to something shaded sooner than 4. So one of these two is definitely shaded, I guess, is the upshot of that. And one of these two is definitely shaded. Let's see. Do I know anything about you? Not yet, I don't think. Actually, I think I can make an argument about this one. I can't stop this pentomino from touching whatever pentomino goes in one of these two cells. No matter what, there's just no, I don't have enough room to do it. So the shaded cell here, and that cell are all part of the same pentomino. What's the minimum number of cells we could use to accomplish that? I think it's going to be like 4. I swear that had some consequence about this. Right. So therefore, this can't be shaded, because if this was shaded, I would make that pentomino like take cells out here forever. So therefore, this is unshaded. So therefore, this is unshaded, and therefore that's shaded because I believe my pencil marks. This is shaded for sure. Okay, so this we know goes at least 1 in that direction. We know they don't touch diagonally. We know we shade one of these two. Right, this green now has to go at least this far in this direction. If this is shaded, it makes an F. I agree. And so this is a P. And so, therefore, this is a U, so as not to be a second P. Now the distance of this is 4. Very good. So we can go 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then we can green along the way, which sounds like the beginning of a Christmas song. Oh, this one I can actually do. These two need to connect. Oh, right. And this one actually we can do as well. So that's shaded. In fact, actually, this is unshaded because otherwise we'd have a P. This is unshaded because if it was shaded, we'd make something that wasn't a pentomino. Likewise, this cell. Likewise, this cell, because we'd make an F. So we can actually unshade all of those. Row 9, column 4 needs to leave this leave this 2x3. Someone very wisely points out. And so if it needs to do that, that means it needs to escape through here. Because the point is, the only two pentominoes you can fit into a 2x3 are a P and a U, and we already have both of those. So it escapes through there, but now by pentomino-ness, it's just an N. N being the name for this shape. Don't ask me why they've decided to call this one an N. If you squint at it really, really, really hard, you still won't believe it's an N. Okay, so that makes this a W. So we can extend this at least this far. Okay, 3 is now the magic number for this one. These are now green. This one extends. Good point from AFK. This now can't be a W, so now it's a Z. This is not allowed to be shaded either, because of that, because of this arrow, basically. It's called an N so they could avoid resorting to Unicode characters. This shaded cell definitely is going to make that shaded no matter what else I do with my life. Should we list the available pentominoes? That sounds like a good exercise for chat. I want a table flip emoji pentomino name. That sounds great. Is that what your U would be? Okay. This can't be shaded, or I think these two run into problems, right? If this cell is shaded, Oh, I could just barely make a Y. Oh, that's annoying. Uh, if this cell is shaded, though, we have a sure problem, right? If this cell is shaded, now that forces this to be shaded, and now this just can't finish. So that's at least unshaded, but I think we can still get a Y here if this cell is shaded only just. Uh, this cell being shaded doesn't work because we'd be forced to create a W or a Z, unless someone sees an option that I don't see. But I don't think this works, right? The only way I could do this is with a Z or a W. Yeah, so this is unshaded. This certainly can't go up for, well, this can't even go up to this far, right? No matter what. Because if it goes up this far, I now again am out of cells that I can do with this. So this has to go down at least this far just to be a pentomino. Okay, so if we come here, we're just a V doing V things. Do we want to be just a V doing V things? I don't know. How do you feel about being a V? Could we not be an I? Yeah, okay. So yeah, so if this is unshaded, then weird things happen over here, right? So if this is unshaded, now this comes down here and unshades this arrow, but now as soon as this arrow is unshaded, the world falls apart in lots of ways. So oh, sorry. So yeah, so this is shaded. I don't have a great way of articulating it, but I see it. Uh, uh, checkerboard only becomes L, but do we know which L? Or do we just know it's NL? Is it possible that this cell is unshaded now? Because if this is unshaded, then it looks to me like that breaks. Because I've got to make something, and I don't think I can possibly string together these three cells in a way that makes a pentomino that we don't already have. I think I've convinced myself. So this is shaded. Okay, so so L, Y, or T are the only options, but this can't be Y or T, so it's an L, and now it can't be that L, so it's that L, is what chat says. I would believe that. So now we've got Y, T, X, I. What else do we have? This can't be unshaded anymore, because if this is unshaded, we now make this shaded, this unshaded, but now this comes out around here, and now we've got all sorts of problems, because we've got an L, and also this clue is broken, all sorts of problems happen, so this is shaded. Y, T, X, and I. Okay, well, this one's not X or I, so it's Y or T. So we know it has these two in it and not these two. Not that that does any good at all. Uh, like it almost definitionally can't do anything useful. What? Am I wrong? Emma says that was wrong. Oh, y could be the other way, right? Sorry, the y, it could be this y. So it's these. No, sorry, no, it's only this one, I guess, that do that. Yeah, I don't think there's an obligation that you use everything. I think the only obligation is that you not repeat things. Uh oh, so the point is, if we're willing to use uniqueness, it's just a t. Because if we yeah, that's the point, is that this has to be a t by uniqueness. Okay. uh oh yeah, and this is still shaded for sure. uh 12 total pentominoes, I believe. uh okay. Row 11, column 11 seems to be useful now. uh I don't quite see it yet. Why is the distance 2 if it's unshaded? Yeah, okay. So yeah, so if this is very clever. So from Emma, if this is unshaded, then now we've got several choices which involve for this, which involve U and V and L, all of which we've used. So therefore, this is always shaded. Uh, and I think likewise, if this is unshaded, we run into the same problem, right? If this is unshaded, uh, now now what are we making? And I think the answer is we've used everything that we could make. So I think that one's now also shaded. Uh, so if this is unshaded, we now get shaded there, right? Oh no, I guess we could get shaded there if this is an X. Uh, right. This now can't be shaded because we'd make an N. So this is definitely unshaded. Which means one of these two is shaded. I don't think it can be that one because then we can't make anything new, right? If I shade these four. Oh, no, I could make a Y. Never mind. Sorry, I could make a Y. But this is now unshaded, at least. Uh, uh, so it's not a it's not a Y anymore. It could be an upside down T or an X. And we know secretly it's an X, but we're not allowed to use that. Uh, uh, this is definitely now green, right? Just for the sake of it, because if this isn't green, it's an N. So this thing fits in a too high. It's unshaded because of this clue being unshaded. So this fits in a too high. So now it's an I, right? This just has to be an I. Oh no, it could be a Y as well. Sorry, Y also fits in here. Uh, uh, But this is now always unshaded, right? Because if this is shaded, I've got to cram 2 clues in here, and I can't because this is only however many cells that is. I can't quite count how many cells that is, but however many it is, I think it's 14. Yeah, so this has got to be green is the point. Yeah, I guess the other way to say it is just like, could this possibly be an I? And the answer is that if it's any kind of I, it assuredly breaks the ability to put a second pentomino in here, which I think you just like flat out can't do, even if you could use all the pentominos. I guess you could if you could use 2 P's, but we can't even use any P's, so never mind. But certainly I doesn't work. Anyway, this is always green, which means that this is a Y, which means that this is a T, as we knew it had to be. So now this is just an X, right? Is the only thing left. So this is an X, which means that this is green and this is shaded. Ooh, new subscriber. Nice, nice. I missed it. Welcome to the new subscriber. Okay, so this is black for purposes of connection. And so if this is black, we're not making a Y, so we better make that, that, and that, that, and I think that will do it. Yeah, that was a really nice puzzle. I really enjoyed that one. Great work to KNT on that one. Yeah, so we used everything except for I. Poor I. And actually pretty quick solve there too. Once we sort of figured out what was going on with all of this stuff, that was pretty nice. All right, I am gonna go to be right back, and we'll be back in just a moment with more puzzle stuff. So see you shortly. Welcome back. Let's see. We've got a full deck and missing a few cards. Region Some Lines puzzle here. Now, the difficulty of this was unlabeled. So, full deck and missing a few cards puzzles run from easy to crazy. But I at least see that this cell has to be an 8 or a 9. Because of the thing. Oh, link and pin. That's a good idea. And I will echo Laura's request that you like and that you liked the thing. I was gonna say like and pin. Probably you can't pin the message, but you can like the stream. It's always greatly appreciated. Now, let's see. These two are the same digit. We'll catch up them for now. And that digit is certainly at least a 6. Not 6 or 7 because there's a given 2 in the box. 7, 8, 9. Let's see. Okay, so these are also each at least 6 because they're sums of 3 digits. This one seems not to be able to be a 9 because of a given 9. So there's definitely a 1 in these cells. We've got this very classy region sum line that is probably not incredibly useful by itself, but could someday aspire to be useful. That's incredibly slick, James. This digit goes in this box, and it doesn't go on its own line or in its own row. So this digit actually goes up here, which means it sort of in a weird way sees the 9, which means that there's a 1 and a 2 down here, and these can only be from 1, 2, 3, 4. Very, very slick setting there. So now we actually can mark that the 9 in this box goes in one of these cells. So the 9 goes in one of these. I don't know if that's quite the level of markitude that I'm willing to go to, but we're there. Let's see it. Notably, this has to be exactly 2, 3, 4, 9, or that's the 1. Those are the two universes in which we exist because of this 1 quarter mark here. I certainly know, by the way, that there's a 1 down here. And a 3. And we're either 1, 3, 4 or 1, 3, 5. I don't know if that's useful. Hey, Gold Orchid. Welcome, welcome. Let's see. This 8, 9, we know, I guess, goes in one of these two places. Saying these 4 sum to these 6. Somehow I inadvertently started playing a podcast I was in the middle of listening to. Wonderful, wonderful. Oh, it's these 3 being equal to the sum of these. I see. Yeah, I noticed before that this could barely get away with being 6, 7, 8, and have that work out okay. I see. So, yeah, so you can sort of relate all of these various pieces to each other. Uh, so, yeah, so maybe we should maximize the sum of these. So if we maximize the sum of these, it's certainly max 24. Oh no, this is going to end up the wrong direction, isn't it? So I mean, these are min 21. So these are min 27. So these are max 18. So these are max 9. Something like that. I guess that does technically give me 9s in one of two places, which is all I was promised, I believe. This plus row 6, column 3. Is at least 16. Hey, Tallcat, how are you doing? I tried to do your chaos construction deconstruction thing today, but it turns out it does not. It doesn't work in Sudoku Pad on in the format that we have set up. I don't know. Whichever one was in the bucket. Row 5 plus 1 cell. Yes. Okay, yes. Row 5 plus 1 cell, right. So these plus this one have a minimum sum of 16, but also it's those two. And so therefore they're not 6. And in fact, this one can't be 9, so therefore this one can't be 6 or 7. This is an 8 or a 9 only. Ooh, there's a killer diagonal. Oh, interesting. I did see you did my numbered rooms Renbon puzzle yesterday. Okay, so these are only 7 or 8. It's 8 or 9. Once you got your head out of your ass, did you miss something in the break-in? That is true. The green cell, therefore, is from 1, 2. These are from, at most, 6. These ones we know aren't 1. That one's not 2 either. Sorry, is not 2 either. Yeah, yellow adds to 15 or 16, so we know lots of 1, 2, 3, and 4 all show up in here. So we know that these digits are 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and that one's not an 8. These are min 21. This is max 8, so these are min 13, I guess, is still not quite useful. Row 5, column 7 is max 7, right? Because this is part of a 2-cell sum. There we go. That's useful. It's part of a 2-cell sum to 7 or 8. So it's probably not itself 8, or 9. So this is a 1, 2, or 3 are the only options. We're not putting 6 in these cells. Very good, because it's summing to 7 or 8. So if we're putting 6 anywhere, it's going in box 4. I do see I can't actually make these sum to 21, because if I did, it would make these 7, 8, 9, which they can't be, because that would make these 7, 8, 9, and that's stomach turning, to be sure, but it's true. So actually, these are at least 14. Let's see. This cell, I see, actually, I have an 8, 9 pair in this column, which seems relevant, perhaps. Uh, lots of people doing lots of math that I cannot quite tell what people want me to do. Uh, uh, so it's this plus this digit is yellow plus green. If this is 7, that's a 9. If this is 8, that's an 8. But that works with Sudoku. So the sum is always 16 is the point. Got it. Yeah. So I'm never making these an 8, 9 pair is the point, because if these are an 8, 9 pair, this cell has no value. And therefore, it's always the case that the sum is 16, which means this is 1. And we can bring out Zach for a 1 dance. Boop boop doop. Woo! Boop boop doop. Wah! Boop boop doop. Wee! Boop boo doop boo doop boo doop boo doop boo boo doop boo. Wah! I think you mean 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 AFK. Not 6. Because of the thing we just said, that these need to sum to 16. That is a very cute idea there with the sort of copying. Anyway, now that this can't be 5, this certainly isn't 3. Oops, sorry. It's only 1 or 2. This is certainly a 6, 7, 8, 9 of some sort. Just by the row and everything. We know there's a 1 down here for sure now. This 8, 9 is still in one of these two cells. People had some smart way of minimizing these that was a little better than my way of minimizing them, but I don't quite see it yet. By box 4. I have no idea what people are doing with box 4. This line doesn't even connect to box 4. Let's see. Box 5, row 4 and row 5 is 4 cells in box 4. I do agree. These sum to maximum 30. Okay, there we go. That does it. Yeah. So these 6 are maximum 30 because of this. And so if these are maximum 30, then these are minimum 15, which just lets you write 6, 7, 8, 9 in these cells. And now this has to be a 9 because if it's not, these two can't add up to 15. So that's very clever because the point is I can make 15 without a 9, but it'd make these 7, 8, and that's already a 7, 8. So that's always a 9. So that's always an 8. So that's a 9. These are 7 and 7. That makes this 1, 2, 4. Which makes these 3, 5. Let's see. This is not 7 or 9. It's 6 or 8. There's a 7 over here somewhere. Things are happening. We can get rid of the red circle now. This isn't a 7. Oh, right. These two add to 7, so they're probably 6 and 1, making that an 8. Making that not a 1. There we go. So this is now 1, 3, 4, by the way, just because of the fact that they sum to 8 and don't involve a 2. We do know... Oh, in fact, actually, that's an 8 just by sudoku. So these are... Well, this one would probably better be a 6, right? Oh, it's a 5. These are a 5, 6 pair. So there's a chance that this is a 5 with a 1, 4. Or a 6 with a 1, 5. But either way, there's always a 1 along this line. It doesn't feel that useful. It does tell me one of these is a 1, I suppose, just by sudoku. And this is always a 1 with a 4 or a 5. Oops, or 5. Okay, so people are now doing math of, okay, this is 17 plus 7 is 24, so therefore this is 21. That's an 8. So you take 8 away from 21, you're left with 13, so these two sum to 13 without using a 7 or an 8, so they have to be 4, 9. And we know what order that goes in. That's not a 4. These two are known to be a 6 and a 2, and we know the order. So we can do that. So that is a 3 and a 5, I believe. Feels like I just mistyped and put in something I'm not supposed to, but I don't think I did. Who knows, but I don't think I did. Let's see. So we can write in these random digits and see if it inspires anything in us. Are you feeling inspired? Oh, there's a 2-cell line over here I didn't even notice. Or should I suppose theoretically mark that because at some point it'll be useful? So it's not 1 or 5. Neither of them is 6. Neither of them is 8. Neither of them is 2. They can't be 3 or 4 either because that would break this. So they're only 7 or 9 for what it's worth. Yeah. If you don't want to do the it can't break the 8 sum version, you can use Emma's argument instead and say this digit goes in one of these 3 cells, so it's 5, 7, or 9, but it's not a 5. That will get you there as well. It doesn't look useful, but it could be. It's being pointed out that there's a 7 and a 9 here. And so the 9 cancels and the 7 needs to go with a 5. So this is 5, 7, 9, and these are the rest of them. 7 and 9. What am I missing? Oh, there's just random 2s floating around in here that have been gone for a while. So these are not 8. That one's not a 2 either. So this is a 3 or a 5 only. Which means that these are certainly from 1, 2, 3, 4 only. Which certainly means there's a 6 on this line, actually, now, if you look at it. Just by the row. People would like me to note that this is therefore a 5 and a 2. That seems like a very reasonable thing for me to note. And this can be written in. They're not 7 or 9. They're 3, 4, and 8. 3, 4, and 8 sum to 15. So therefore, these need to sum to 15, which can only at this point be 7, 8, which makes that a 6. Very nice. Places the 6 down there. Places the 6 there. Takes 4 out of these. So these are 1, 2, 3 only. So we can come over here. Where that's now only a 6. This is a 4 or a 5. This is not a 1 or a 7 or an 8, so it's a 4. So that's a 5. So this is a 3-cell sum to 11. So someone will tell me what these two sum to, if that is relevant and or interesting. This has become a 1. So that's all set up. So we can do that's a 2, 3. This is a something. It seems to be a 1. I guess now the sum of these two is interesting. So let's see. So that's 30 plus 11 is 41. And so these need to sum to 4. So that's a 3 and a 2 with another 1, 3 up here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These are 7 and 8 in some order that is disclosed owing to the invisible given digit. We love a good old invisible given digit around here. Yeah, we've got our 2 1s here, so that makes that a 1. Thank you, Zach. We can fill in these 1, 2, 3, 4s just to see if anything interesting happens. Technically, I could minimize that digit, but I don't want to. Let's see. Could probably mark like basically the rest of the puzzle. This is not 3 or 7, so that's a 4 or a 5 only. These aren't 1 or 3. 4, 5, 6, 7. Not as useful as I fantasized about it being. Minimum sum here is 8. So this cell is certainly at least a 5. It's not an 8. Yeah, it's at least 5. And funnily enough, at most 9. The row has a 5 pencil mark in it already. Oh, and it's certainly not 6. Good point, because if it was 6, these two would be the same digit, the old double arrow trick. So this is a 7 or a 9, which is actually quite interesting because it makes these just a pair of numbers that aren't 7 or 9 or 1 or 5. So they're a 3, 6, and that's the 3, and that's the 6, which then makes this a 1, 4. Makes that a 2, that a 3, and that a 7. So that breaks all of that down very quickly. 8, 4. Nice use of the this can't also be 6 business. So yeah, so now we do that, and now everything collapses. Very nicely set puzzle there. A lot of very cool steps floating around in that. 7, 9, 5, 1, 5, 8, 2, 4, 7, 2, 4, 2, and 5. Very nice. Let's see, what else do we have in the bucket? I'm being told that there is a random killer diagonal tall cat puzzle there. Here is the random killer diagonal tall cat puzzle. Let us attempt this. Oh no, the old Mark Sven script doesn't work. Wow. Maybe if you ask, maybe you can successfully pressure Sven into incorporating it into regular Sudoku pad, since it's clearly a high demand feature. Like, I'd say, I don't know, half of people's first comment in this chat is, how do I get the Mark and Sven button? Oh no, sorry. I leaned away from the mic. Oh no. I said perhaps you can convince Sven to just incorporate the Mark and Sven buttons in some capacity into Sudoku Pad, because I think they're quite popular. Okay, this is a tall cat puzzle that Tall Cat mentioned. So we certainly know that there's 1, 2, 3s in these 17 cages. So this digit can't be a 1, 2, or a 3 because there is a second 1, 2, 3 sort of in each of these. So this digit's at least 4, 5, 6. However, Emma's point is that this box definitely has an 8 and a 9 on the diagonal. So this isn't an 8 or a 9. And indeed, now we have to put a 9 and an 8 in these cells. Certainly they go in separate ones of these cages. And yeah, these are definitely different flavors. So one of them has a 4, 7, and one of them has a 5, 6. Let's see. So anyway, these are the versions. The 8 and the 9 don't go in the same box. Let's see. I can't give you a link because it doesn't work, but I can give you, I can't give you a link off of there, but I can give you, I can give you a link here. Okay, so certainly there's an 8 or a 9 in here. In each, because if I put 8 and 9 together, I can in no way get there. So if I use an 8 or a 9, that means I need a 1, 2, and a 3 in here, and I need a 1 and a 2 in here. And so that means these two cells are a 1, 2 pair. Because I need to put 1 and 2 on this diagonal, and those are the only two places I can put them. And now this can't have a 3 in it, right? BL puzzle? Do I dare ask what BL is? Let's see. Tallcat says 1 and 2 can go on the diagonal. Oh, so this pencil mark was wrong. Right. Okay, so almost every step is almost every step we've made is incorrect. No, not quite. This was correct. But I can still put... I see, okay. So the thing I thought in my head was incorrect, but the thing that I said out loud was correct, because I do still need A1, 2, and 3 in here. I still need A1 and 2 in here. So this is also not 1 or 2. So this can be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 again. And James is now pointing out that now I know there's no 7 in either of these cages. So there's definitely a 7 along this diagonal. So these aren't 7s. And we knew already one of these cages had a 7 in it. So yeah, if I don't put a 1 or a 2 on this diagonal, I guess it's okay, because I could just put the 1 or the 2 there and the 1 or the 2 there, and it would be fine. But I just need to be careful about exactly how I think about that. Let's see. 20 plus 14 is not a very interesting sum. It's being alleged that this cell might be interesting. I mean, it's certainly at most 6. But it doesn't seem very interesting, if I'm being honest. Yeah, the setter alleges it might be interesting. It's definitely not 1 or 2, I guess, is the interesting thing about it. Because we know there's a 1, 2... Oh, no, it could be 1 or 2, couldn't it? Sorry, I think it's okay if it's 1 or 2. But we've already argued that it can be 1, 2 by the diagonal, because people have argued you can throw 1, 2s down here at random. Whichever 1 or 2 you put in here is ruled completely out of the 9 cage. That's the point. So... Oh, no, sorry, that's not true. Sorry, it's not true. Because it's sort of like it's related to how this sees this and this sees this, but that's not really interesting. Because they don't see each other in a productive manner. They see each other in an unproductive manner. Because if there's a 1, 2 here, it shows up there and there. but that means it shows up in both of these cages, so it definitely doesn't show up there or there. So it can't be interesting. Uh, uh, it doesn't, though, right, Emma? If it's up here, it only sees 2 of the cells in the 9 cage. It doesn't see all 3 cells in the 9 cage. Uh, okay. Emma points out this cell is in both 17 cages, which is useful because that means it's not a 5 or a 6. Sorry. Wait, no. Because doesn't that mean both the 17 cages are the same flavor? The only reason, by the way, James, I'm not focusing on what you're saying is because the setter of the puzzle was saying to look at something else. But these 17 cages actually aren't different flavors. These 17 cages are the same flavor, right? Because they both have this digit in them, and whichever digit that is. Oh, it's not in both. Sorry, it's not in both. Sorry, I can't brain today, apparently. Uh, 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 so yeah, so this is in one of them or the other, but I don't think it does anything. Let's see. Let's look at James's point. So James's point is if we put the 9 in the 19 cage, then it has to be 1, 2, 3, 4, and 9. Right? Is that the point? Is that somehow these we end up sort of duplicating too many digits in these cages? Uh oh, sorry, it's the 8 in the 19 cage. If you put the 8 in the 19 cage and the 9 in the 20 cage, then you end up with 11 sums in both, which both have to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And so you end up with these being a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 quadruple. Sorry, 1, 2, 3, 5, but yeah, 1, 2, 3, 5. Which would make this right. So in that instance, the problem is that these cells also see that. And so this now has no value. I definitely agree with that, right? So yeah, so that is really cool actually. Yeah. So if there's a 9 in here and an 8 in here, they both have a 1, 2, 3, 5 in them. So these are 1, 2, 3, 5, but therefore neither of them have a 4 or 6 in them. So there's a 4, 6 here. And so now this cell is just nothing. So it is in fact the 8 that's over here and the 9 that's over here, which means that this 9 goes with 1, 2, 3, 4. No 9 up there. And this 8 goes with something. Yeah, that is a very nice step. This 8 goes with something that adds to 12 for whatever that is worth. So it's not that one. But we just have our 2 different sums to there. So okay. Like if this wasn't a tall cat puzzle, I would be trying to do some sort of set with the 9 cage and the 11 cage in these two cages. Like that would be the thing. If this was not a tall cat puzzle, I would be trying to do set with these rows and columns in some capacity. Uh, 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 Tall cat claims this can't be 1, 2, 3. But I don't have any great intuition as to why that would be the case. Uh, uh, the 20 cage can't have both 5 and 6. That's true. So there's definitely a 5, 6 on this diagonal. Okay, Tall Cat is trying to get me back to the set argument because Tall Cat is telling me that if I count 1, 2, 3s, I know there's a 1, 2, 3 here, a 1, 2, 3 here, a 1, 2, 3 here. And there's certainly a 1, 2, 3 along the diagonals. So we're doing some sort of like weird covering argument. I'm not understanding the covering argument yet, but we can do it. So I think Tall Cat wants me to argue. I know the yellow cells have 4 1, 2, 3s in them. And so we can unyellow these cells. These yellow cells have 2 1, 2, 3s in them. I know I know that's not a 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it doesn't quite work. Uh, 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 oh, maybe is that a good thing to do? Uh, oh, I see. Okay, so Tall Cat wants me to do this by a look ahead. So Tall Cat wants me to say if this cell is 1, 2, or 3, then it's not here. So sorry, I should say, so it's not in one of these two, so it's in one of these 3, and it's not in one of these two, so it's in one of these 3, and now it's blocked off the diagonal. For my mind, that's infinitely worse, but I do see it. It's disgusting, but I see it. So the point is that's a 4, 5, 6. So therefore, these must be from 1, 2, 3. That's like a old school Tall Cat step. So yeah, so these are from 1, 2, 3 for sure. Now, how does that help? Maybe, possibly. Probably somehow. So the fact that this 17 cage had a 1, a 2, and a 3 in it was not relevant. It was only that this cage and this cage had a 1, 2, 3 in them that was relevant. I guess we know similarly this one can't be 1 or 2 for a similar fashion reason, right? If this is 1 or 2, then we know we get a 1 or 2 here, and we get a 1 or a 2 here, and then that rolls it off the bottom. So this is at least 3. It can't be 9 because you can't put a 9 in an 11 cage. Knowing that this is at least 3 seems somewhat less useful. Uh, So this digit is, so if you chase this digit, then we know it's in one of these three cells, so it's not in one of these three cells, so it's in one of these three cells, is Emma's point. So one of these two is that 1, 2, 3. And this 1, 2, 3 could do a similar thing. This 1, 2, 3 is in one of these three. But it doesn't have to be in the 20 cage because we don't know, because 3 is not in the 20 cage necessarily. Row 6, column 3 is stronger. Oh, are you saying it's in one of these? No. Oh, it's there, or something. Because we just argued it's in one of these three cells, so it's not on the diagonal here, but also it's in one of these three cells. So it's not on the diagonal here, so it's in one of these two cells specifically. On the diagonal. Red. Red has to go on the diagonal. And red on the diagonal can't go in this box, and it can't go in this box. So it's in this box, which means it's in one of these two cells. Do green. Sorry, I thought people said red was more powerful than green. Green is certainly off the diagonal here. It's in the 17 cage. So it's in this 17 cage. So it's there. Right. So green is also in one of these three, but it's not that one. So green has to go there by sort of chasing this this through here because of this. Yeah. So just to say that concisely-ish, this is a 1, 2, 3, so it needs to go in the 17 cage, so it's in one of those. So now it does not go in one of these or one of these, so it goes in one of those. But we also know it goes in one of these, so it's in one of these three cells, but only that one. And so now red, we can make the same kind of argument that it's not in one of these, so it's in one of these, so it's not in one of these, so it's in one of these. And therefore it's here. So it's a 3. Sorry, tall cat. Let's see. So it's a 3. Hooray. Okay, so we can fill in a 3 and bring out a Zach for a 3 dance. Boop boop ba doop. Woo! Boop boop ba doop. Wah! Boo doop ba doop. Wee! Ba doop boo doop boo doop boo doop boo doop boo boo doop boo. Waha! Uh-oh, did we break it? Carl says we cheated. Oh, I think we cheated. Because red could still go on this diagonal. We don't actually know that red doesn't go in there. We know that this is green, but we don't actually know... we don't actually know that red can't go down here because this red doesn't actually sort of push red anywhere, right? Yeah. Well, red and green are different because they're together in a 9 cage. I can at least tell you that red and green are different. But red can't be in the outies of the 19 cage. Uh, uh, yeah. We certainly know that red is in one of these three in the upper 17 cage. So it's in one of these, sorry, it's in one of these two cells. Yeah. Are we supposed to say something about how red can't be in the 20 cage? Is that the point? I think that's the point, is red can't be in the 20 cage. Because if red is in the 20 cage, it now can't go on the diagonal. That's the point. Because if red is in the 20 cage, it now goes over here, which now means that in the 19 cage it goes here. But now red looks at every cell on the diagonal. I think that's what Tallcat wants us to say. So red doesn't go in the 20 cage, so it's not 1 or 2, so it must be 3. And therefore we still get sort of the same general idea of how this all works out. So this isn't 6. Now we know what this is. This is 1, 2, 4, 5, 8. Yes, 6 is now in this diagonal because none of these cages have 6s in them. So these cells aren't 6. So these are a 4-5 pair, and therefore that's a 3. So these are not 3, 4, or 5. No 3s over there. So that's a 3. I can just corner mark these. Oh, in fact, actually, that's the 3. And then I can get rid of these at least. We know that this is a 1, 2. So one of these is the green 1, 2, because this cage needs the 1, 2. Oh, by the way, this is a 1, 2, 4 triple, so that's a 5 and a 1. Okay, well that will save me, because now I can just say these are a 2, 4, and now these aren't, so those are a 1, 9, and now I can just sort of chase this through here. No 1 over here, so one of these is a 1, at the very least. That's also a 1, because green circle is 1. Okay. So there's a 1 over there somewhere. So 1 over there somewhere. Oh, don't put 2 1s in row 7 is a good idea. Good, good. The 11 cage has no 3s. Okay. So it's either 2, 4, 5, or it has a 1. Oh, the 8 is down there, so that's not an 8. Oh, the 11 cage certainly isn't 2, 4, 5 because this digit is in it. It isn't a 2, 4, or 5. So it's not 2, 4, 5, right? So, and it can't have a 7. because if it was, it would need a 1, 3 to go with it, and it can't have it. But now it needs a 1. So now this is a 2 or a 4. Why isn't this cell a 2? Because we knew... maybe we didn't know it wasn't a 2. I think that was probably wrong. Oops. We'll just delete that, and we'll just pretend that... pretend we did not screw this up. Okay. Oh, right. I remember now. Right. It was the part that Tallcat doesn't want me to talk about again. Because it was the step I've most disliked in puzzles in months. But yeah, so the point is, if this is a 2, then there's a 2 in one of these cells. So there's a 2 in one of these cells. So there's a 2 in one of these cells. So there's a 2 in one of these cells. And so then 17 steps later, there can't be a 2 on the diagonal. That's the problem. So now we can say, once you have that, then this can't be 7 because there's no 3 in it. So it does need a 1 because the sum is either 5 or 3. And if the sum is 5, it's not 2, 3, so it needs a 1. So that's a 1 there. So this is 2 or 4. Okay, so we've got 2/3 of a 2, 4, 5 triple in column 6. We've got a 3 in this domino. For what it's worth, I don't like the step, but if you're going to use it, using it twice is good setting. So I appreciate that it's like a logical theme rather than a one-off step. Like somehow doing something twice makes it better. 4 in column 9 is up here somewhere. There's a little bit more Sudoku on 1s that can be done. Do I know that 1 doesn't go there? I'm not sure yet. I do, because I know that 1 goes in one of these cells, because this cage needs a 1. So no 1 over there, so 1 over here. Let's see. I don't think I know anything about 1 in this box, other than it doesn't go in a 20 cage, at least. There is a 1 in the 14 cage. That's probably the interesting thing. Not only is there a 1 in the 14 cage, we actually know where the 1 in the 14 cage is. Even better. And that bounces back up here. Not quite. Sorry. To almost tell me something about that. But these ones are lined up. So the 1 up here is in one of these 2 cells, and it's not in a 20 cage. So that's the 1. There was much Sudokuing on 9s happening. If this was a 4, these would be a 7, 9. Looks okay. It's sort of interesting if this is 6, 7, because it would give me a 6, 7 pair over here, but I don't see a problem with it. Let's see. The box 3 white cells. Oh, what can this cell be given that it now sees 2, 4, 5, and 8? Is James's question. So it can't be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It can be 6, 7, but it can't be 8 or 9. The point is, it actually sees all 4 of the cells in the 20 cage except for 1. But of course, it's not 1 either. So this is always 6 or 7. I agree with that. 7 column 6 can't be 4. Yes, it can't be 4 because the 4 sees onto this diagonal that one of these is 4, so this isn't 4. Yes. And I guess that also tells me, sort of going backwards, the other digit that's not a 6 or a 7 on this diagonal is a 2 or a 5. So this is 2, 5, 6, 7. For sure. I don't know that that's incredibly helpful, but we can at least mark it. And the other 2, 5 is what goes up here. So these are 2, 5, 8, 9. Okay, says this being 2, 8 breaks in column 9. The 2 looks down to the 20 cage. Yeah, so if there's a 2 here, it certainly places a 2 in one of these. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's incredibly bizarre. Yeah, so if this is a 2, I do agree it does break 2 in column 9 in a very convoluted way. Is yeah, it's very bizarre. So if this is a 2, it rules 2 out of both of these pretty directly because 2's already not there. I already know none of these are 2, so therefore this would have to be 2. Except the problem is that also puts a 2 over here. Oh, uh, Isabella's way is way better because Isabella's way is what Tallcat refers to as the bad thing. Because if this is 2, then what happens is actually the nicest thing to think about is what happens to the diagonal by use of the fact that it rules 2 out of these cells. And so it actually pushes a 2 here and a 2 here, which is actually a very cute way to sort of reuse this idea. The more times the bad thing is used, the more I like the bad thing. But yeah, the 2 here rules it off the diagonal is a lot cleaner. So that's a 4, and that's a 6. So that's not a 4. So that is. So these are a 7, 9. Surprise. So no 7 there. Yeah. Now, I'm very impressed that you spotted that the way that you did, AFK. That was a crazy spot. Audi box, or sorry, Audi math in box 3. Okay, so yeah, so these sum to 34. So these sum to 11. And so now they have to be 5, 6 or 3, 8, I guess. 5, 6 or 3, 8. Did I not do the Audi math correctly? Oh no, they sum to 10 because I forgot the 1. So the sum is 11 unless I include this, in which case the sum is 10, but if these two sum to 10, they're definitely 2, 8. And so then these are the other ones of 3, 5, 6 in some capacity. The remaining Audis sum to 10, which is pretty much 11. Yeah, that right on the mark there. Yeah, okay, so now 4 in box 1 is now in one of these cells. Tall cat notices. So that tells me that this is the one that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, and this is the one that isn't. It's 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. So we can clean that up a little bit. So those aren't 3 or 4. That one's not 1 or 4. Those aren't 1, because one of those was 1. Let's see. These seem not to be 3. These seem not to be 1. These seem not to be 6. So we've got a 6 in here. We know there's a 3 over there, so that's not a 3. Or there's a 3 down there, so that's not a 3. Let's see. To 7 in box 1. Yes. There's a 7 in one of these cells, so these aren't 7. Very appropriate. So these aren't 2 now because of those being 1, 2. So these are 3, 4, 7. 9 in column 7 is hiding, thanks to a basically a 2, 4, 5, 8 triple, but that's now the only place for 9, so that places the 3 over there. So 2, 4, 5, 8. Okay, so in particular, the 2, 4, 5, 8 actually rules 5 out of these and places a 5 there. Rules 5 out of all of these. Gives me a random 1, 2, 6 triple in the row. So that's not a 2, and that's not a 2. So it is an 8, and that's a 2. So that's a 9. Giving me a 4 and a 2 over there, which has made that a 4. That is a 6 and a 7. Let's see. These aren't 9 or in the corner. That one's not 2 anymore. Let's see. That 2, 5 is over there. But it's not a 5 because the 5 in this box can be corner marked into one of these 2 cells. So this is a 2. That's going to, I think, be the thing that really sort of unravels everything. So now these are a 3 and a 5 because we still need a 5 here. After we do that. Okay, so these aren't 1. Those aren't 6. These aren't 8. Oh, I could have used the 5-8 pair in the box. Oh, speaking of the 5-8 pair in the box, it's also in the cage, making that a 2. So 8 in box 6 is there, giving me a markable triple here. And that one's a naked 7. There, through magic. Let's see, this is a pair in the row. One's certainly not a 5. Let's see. Do I want to mark the rest of this box? No is the answer. I do not want to mark the rest of that box. Oh, I do if I remember that 1-2 pair is there. So those are a 7-8 pair, making that a 9 and a 2 and a 9. This cage. I was debating if I wanted to mark this cage or not. Let's see. These 2 need to add to 13, so that's never going to be a 2. And these can't be 5, 8. So we can just pull out 5 and 8. So it's either going to be 4 and 9 or 7 and 6, but 7 and 6 doesn't work either. So in fact, it is 4 and 9. I was actually, you know, the AFK is the demon on my shoulder, because I had actually just said, like, I could just mark these 2 cells. Maybe it will be useful. And then decided, no, it'll probably be gross. And then AFK is like, do it, Zeta. You know you want to. And then I did, and it felt so good. Okay. Let's see. So we've got a 5, 6, 8 happening up here. So no 5/8 down here. Okay, how can there oh, right. There's no 6 down here either. So that's a 7 and a 2. A 3, a 4, and a 7. I'm being told that the 9 may have been placed by Sudoku, and that may have been a better way to do it. But I will accept giving into the dark side. Okay, no 6 there, no 5 there. Okay. I really just want what digit this cell is, but I'm going to mark this all anyway to say that that's a 4. One of these is a 7. Okay, we can mark the rest of the grid, and it'll probably work. Okay, so there's an 8 and a 7 and a 6. So everything crumbles. 6, 5, 3, 9, 7. 2, 2, 1. Mark mostly told me. Mark told me down to the triple that I hadn't actually noticed. I'm very impressed in a weird way. So, like, I'm not a huge fan of the diagonal step, but I'm impressed that you managed to get it into the puzzle 3 separate times, which is quite an accomplishment, because it's not a simple step. I'm really trying to figure out if there's a way I probably would have liked it better, the sort of the set way than the look ahead way, but I couldn't make it work that way. But there probably is a way to do it now that I've sort of seen it pop up over and over again. Diagonal puzzles are weird, because diagonals always do like way more than you think they ought to be able to do in this world of things. But anyway, I'm going to take a quick stretch, and I'll come back and I'll do one more puzzle of... Welcome back. We have a Snepix puzzle next. I believe this is Snepix's debut on the channel, at least as far as puzzles I'm solving are concerned. But it looks like a nice grid. It probably has a 5 in it somewhere. That's probably going to be interesting. So let's have a look. So in fact, actually, I was saying about the 5 being relevant, but actually the 5 can only possibly go here within this row, because if I put the 5 here, I need to dream up 5 numbers less than 5, which is a problem. I mean, don't tell them about pi. Please don't put pi in the Sudoku, but 5 has to be here. So we can bring out Zach for the 5 dance. Boop-boop-a-doop. Woo. Boop-boop-a-doop. Wah. Boop-boop-a-doop. Wah. Ba-doop-boo-doop-ba-doop-boo-doop-boo-doop. Waha! Thank you, Zach. Thank you. Yes, clearly what we need is a puzzle where the modifier cells turn everything into pi. Okay, so these are all high. We want to do this. One of these is going to be high, and one of them is going to be low. Oh, I can write in these numbers. I don't know if you knew that. One of these is going to be a 2 for sure, because we need, whichever of these numbers is high, we need to sort of surround by 3 numbers that are far enough away. Oh, right. And so therefore, right. Right, one of these is 2, because one of these are a low-high pair. Let me actually color this in a way that makes clear what on earth I'm rambling about. So we've got one of low and high left. I'll make them orange and yellow. So whichever of these is low, it's a 2. Because it can't be a 1. And so therefore, where is the 6? The 6 now has to go over here. Yeah, you could just do it directly. I agree. That is an option. Okay, there's definitely a 3 on this line, funnily enough. Because this German whisper needs a low, and that low can be 3 or 4, but if it's 4, then it goes at the end, and the other end gets a 3. So it could be a 3 in the middle, or a 3 and a 4 on the ends. I'm not sure quite how useful that is. These are certainly from 238. Sorry, not 238. 289 is what I meant to say. The 9 certainly goes next to a 1, so one of these is a 1. Right. Can't be an 8, because then you can't put 4 in row 3. That's very clever, yeah. So if you ask where the 4 goes in row 3, it has to go next to a 9, which actually means these are a 2-9. Which means these are a 1 and a high. Which is funny, because it actually tells me that this digit is at least 3. Because either this digit's a 2 or this digit's a 1. And so, therefore, I can't make these go 1, 2. So this is minimum 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Maximum 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. And so we can do that. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4. That's not as exciting. I guess it at least tells me that this is low and these are high. That is all the highs in column 8. That's true. We've got a high here, a high here, 2 highs here, and a high here. So these are all from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't know what 2 goes with, though, is the problem. It's not like over here where I know that something goes with a 1. Uh, oh, 2 goes with a 9. Right, 2 does go with a 9. You're right. Because the 9 in the row, yeah, the 2 has to go with a 7, 8 on the sides of it and a 9 at the top. Right. So actually, there's just always a 9, is the point. Like, each of these things have sort of a corner marked 9. So this is actually not a 9. So that's not an 8, not a 7, not a 6, not a 5. And this is blue. And these are indeed, as you say, a 1-9 pair. The royal U. Meaning David. Oh, right. This isn't 4 anymore. David, sorry. Only one spot for 6 in this column. Very true. This has to be a 6. Because you can't put 6 in either of these. Very nice. Okay, so that's a 6, which actually unravels 5, 4, 3. Doesn't unravel that one, but at least unravels that. So that's blue. That's green. That's blue now. Da-dee-dee-da-dee-da. So it's certainly a 7 or an 8 here. Triple in column 5. The weirdest triple you've ever bought. A 129 triple. So funnily enough, this digit is high or 5. Just perfectly normal Sudoku things. This is a 3. These would be an 8, 9. This would be a 4. You were going to say virtual 1-2 pair. I mean, virtual 1-2 pair is more fun, right? We all have our biases. 5 in column 1. Oh, 5 in column 1 is just placed. Yes, very nice. It's not going on a whisper, and it's not going there anymore. So that means one of these is a 5. This digit is high because it sees 1, 2, 3, 4. Very good. Okay. And if this digit is high, does that help? I think this could still be the 3, 4 with a 9 in the middle option. Oh, no, it can't be the 3. Can't go here anymore. Right. 3 can't go here anymore because, funnily enough, if 3 goes here, this is a naked single nothing. Because you'd have a 7, 8, 9 column in the triple in the column and a 6 looking at it from the side. Because the point is, this will be less horrific if I mark that as 7, 8, 9 and say, okay, no, this can't be a 3, because it would make a 7, 8, 9 quadruple in the column. So these are low. This is high. And in particular, that means these are 3, 4, and this is 9. And therefore, this is the 6. Naked single nothing, the name of my autobiography. Amazing. 6 usually goes next to 1 by tradition. So that's a 2. Okay, now we finally sort out this. So that's a 9 and a 2. So we've got to de-yellow. Yellow is orange and purple is blue. 1 and 9. Okay, so these are 7, 8. These are 2, 3. No, sorry, 3, 4. And we know which one is which. Even. That's not a 2 anymore. That's not a 2 anymore. That's not a 2 anymore. Let's see. This is a 7, 8, 9 of some description. There's a 4 down here somewhere. There sure is. Okay. Where do 1, 3, and 4 go in this box? The answer is up here. Or said a different way, these see every low digit, and so they're not blue, so the remaining blues are a hidden triple up here, is basically all I'm saying. And so that one's high because it's not 5. And this one is 5 because it's the only place for 5 in the box. And so that's a 6. You could have done that as a hidden pair of 7 and 8 instead of a hidden triple, which might have been a little bit more nicelier. That is possible. 5 in column 8 is now placed. Agree. Yeah, we've got a 6 up here and a 2 and a 5. Much nicelier. Let's see. These digits are high or 5, so they're a high 5 pair. I somehow don't think I've ever said high 5 in that order before and noticed the funny, but anyway. So these are in particular low because they're neither high nor 5 because we've got 5 high 5s in the row. So these are a 3, 4, which makes that a 1, I suppose. That was just because the 1 here plus the 2, 3, 4 made these high or 5. It wasn't anything fancier than that. In this particular instance, I'm not sure it was useful, but it was cute. Column 8, we're putting a 4 somewhere, and it's going to be awkward no matter what, but it's going to have to go up here. I mean, I guess it's not that awkward up there, but what can you do? So one of these is a 3. It goes with an 8. So that's a 7. One of these is going to be a 9. Because the other thing the 3 goes next to is a 9, but because of that 9, actually, it has to go here. So we can orange, orange, blue, blue like that. 3, 8, 9, and an unknown digit of the 1, 2 variety. Okay. Box 8 has a 9 somewhere in it, I'm being told, and it probably doesn't go halfway along the thermo or in a column with a 9. So it's there, which makes there be a 9 over here. Three in box 8 is just placed in the bulb. So this is at least a 6, and so in fact it has to be a 6 with a 7, 8. Because of the 9. Very nice. So this is low of some description, and in fact it's a 4. It's just a naked 4, in fact. So that is high, and that's a 5, going back up that way. So now that's our 2, and that's our 6, folding in up here. That is a 6 as well. Yeah, there's still a 2 and a 1 and a 5 floating around down here. Who knows where? These are a 1, 3. I'll record for posterity. Let's see. There's an 8 along this thermo, and we probably know it goes there just by sudoku. Well, sudoku plus the fact that you can't then put another cell there. Okay, what is left in this row? 1, 2, and 7. Somehow that wasn't as helpful as I was fantasizing it would be. Uh, oh, actually, sorry, it's kind of useful because that's a 127 triple over here. So these are just not 1, 2, or 7, which makes that a 6. It was way more useful than I made it out to be. And this is a 4. So that gives me the 3 and the 4 and the 1 and the 3 over there. One of these is the 7, so that's the 2. Which makes that the 7 and that the 1, apparently. So that seems to be an 8 and a 7, and I can probably fill in the rest of this box with an 8 and some sort of 2-9 abomination. Let's see, we can mark in these. Let's see, those are a 1-5 pair, so that's 2. 1 in box 5 does indeed seem to be placed there, which lets us do a little bit of green chasing. Comme ça. Let's see, 8 or 9. Let's see. There's a 6, and it's there. We will mark those up. Orange, blue, and green. Like that. And I think we can probably ask Mark to do the rest of the puzzle for us. Once we color, of course. We won't ask Mark to do the coloring for us. Let's see. So that's high, that's high, that's high. Let's see. Where are my lows? We still need 2 lows in this column, so it's going to be those. So we'll make them yellow just for fun. In fact, actually, that also needs to be low. That also needs to be low, and that needs to be high. And there we go. Lovely puzzle there. So great, at least debut for me for Snepix, I believe. Although you've seen how long my memory lasts. It is... do that. I always click the colors in Sudoku Pad and don't use their color equivalent. We did use the Sven button. Yes, we did the tell me if anything happens while you resolve the rest of this button. I do every now and then use it because I sort of feel like, there's sort of like a debate between like, do I just say now that I've got the coloring done, the puzzle is done and call it good, or do I fill them all in? Or whatever, and the Sven button lets you sort of say, okay, well, I've done the coloring, so now I'm done the puzzle. So that is a good use of the Sven button. Alrighty, but we are going to wrap up stream there for today. So huge thank you to everyone. There's no real difference between that and the mark button at that stage. Yeah, there's not a whole lot of the Sven button will sometimes messy up things a little bit for you, but it's basically just I consider myself done is the Sven button. But yes, thank you for everyone for hanging out. Thank you to everyone who supports the stream. Huge thank you. We do have TR49 going up. We've started getting some more pencil puzzles back in the Invitation to Puzzles rotation. You can look forward to more of that in the coming weeks, though I still have some more student puzzles I've been showcasing. If you want to support the stream, you can always join on YouTube and just click the join button in the description. Or if you prefer Patreon, we're not picky. If you want to support the stream, we'll take your support. We will greatly appreciate it. So thank you to everyone who does that. Really, really heartfelt thanks. It really does keep us sort of motivated to continue doing all of this stuff for us. Welcome to all the new folks who we saw in chat today. And last but not least, thank you to the Turbines, Daniel, David, Franco, Nell, Nordy, Plankton, and Elisef. I am reminded that I have a Nell puzzle in the bucket that she described as, quote, cursed, that I will have to do at some point, or perhaps Tristan will have to do on Thursday. Perhaps I should promise that Tristan on Thursday will do all of the puzzles in the bucket that are labeled as cursed. I'm sure he will enjoy that. Quote, incredibly Chris. Oh, great. Okay. I know what Tristan is doing on Thursday, but thank you, everyone, and I'll see you all real soon. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.